Black Ops 2 is one of the most iconic zombie games we have gotten yet. One of the best things about Black Ops 2 was the ranking system. Even though for the average player it might have been hard to get that shotgun rank, it was always a grind and always felt relieving and felt really good once you leveled up in the zombies mode. Black Ops 2 also introduced a bank system and perma-perks. In this video I am going to be rating every Black Ops 2 zombie map. So instead of doing TRANZIT as a whole for survival maps, I will be doing all of them. That being said, I will be rating TRANZIT, Bus Depot, Town, Farm, Nuketown, DIERISE, MOBOFTHEDEAD, Origins, and Buried. TRANZIT. TRANZIT is a map that's not very user friendly. One of the great things about TRANZIT is the teleporters, but a big con about the map is the avocado guy, or however you pronounce it, and the fog. The fog has really ruined this map for most players. My overall rating for TRANZIT is only a 6 out of 10. Now, two more things I'd like to mention is the bank system and the jet gun. The jet gun actually is a pretty shitty weapon, but it's also good because it's infinite damage. Now, the bank system can be good for world records and speedruns, if you will. Bus Depot features 4 wall buys, that being the Olympia, the Remington, the MP5, the M14. Some cons of Bus Depot is that there is no packet punch, no perks, and there's only 1 box spawn. This being said, Bus Depot is a very bare bones map. On a survival rating itself, I would give it a high rating as a survival rating. But my overall rating for this map is sadly only 5 out of 10. Farm. Farm is pretty much very similar to Bus Depot, if you will. It only has a couple plus ones, that being perks. Sadly, no pack-a punch, and similar, only 1 box spawn. Now, Farm does offer the Galvo Knuckles, but keep in mind, those fall off after round 13. So overall, just like Bus Depot, on a survival rating, Farm is rated very high. But overall, I'm only giving Farm equal amount to Bus Depot, 5 out of 10. Town. Now, Town is definitely, without a doubt, the favorite out of all the survival maps. It's also the only survival map to include the perks and the pack-a-punch. Now, while talking to the creator about his 2 favorite things about this map, he'd mentioned the training strategy, which you're seeing him use right now, which is located by stamina, and this is usually used for high rounds attempts. And he also mentioned the tombstone glitch, or Easter egg if you will, which allows you to get all 6 perks. Me personally, the thing I hate most about Town is in order to do this high round strat effectively, you have to leave the speed cola door closed. Now, with all that being said, my rating for Town is a 7 out of 10. Nuketown. Now, Nuketown is a tricky one, man. I love what Treyarch was trying to do with Nuketown, but personally I do not think Nuketown should have been a zombies map. I say that as if, not so much that it shouldn't have been, I shouldn't have said that. What I mean is, it just doesn't fit the zombies atmosphere, I feel like. The map is very difficult, and the perk spawning can be out of hand sometimes. It can be up to round 25 at certain times until you get Jug or Pack-a-Punch. Those are the 2 most important things in a zombies game. One thing to mention about Nuketown for an honorable mention is I do love how there's so many wall buys. With all this being said, Nuketown is only rated for me at a 6 out of 10. DIERISE. Now, in spite of me never being able to reach round 100 on this map, only high 80s, 70s, 60s, multiple times, I will not let that affect the way I rate this map. Now, honestly, a lot of players do not like DIERISE, and I completely understand. Personally, I love the map, but I have learned to hate it. Okay, now with that all that out of the way, DIERISE does have the most powerful wonder weapon, with that being a Skug of Fire. It is so overpowered, it's ridiculous. A lot of people don't realize that, but a Skug of Fire is the best wonder weapon out there. Another thing to mention, DIERISE is also a map to where perma perks do work on it. So that being said, if you have perma Juggernog, you can take 6 hits before going down. That was unheard of in these older games until Black Ops 2 introduced permaperks. My overall rating for DIERISE is an 8 out of 10, and that's because personally I love it. MOBOFTHEDEAD. Personally, I do not have a lot to add on MOBOFTHEDEAD because surprisingly, out of all the Black Ops 2 map, this is the one I have played the least. Now, with talking with the creator, the two favorite things he wanted to mention was the Pack-a-Punch camo, which is sick, and that quick revive is based on afterlives. Now, I will go ahead and mention that I do really second this because that means you have an extra perk slot for another perk you could find useful in your run. Now, personally, I would like to add, I think the Tomahawk in this game map is very sick. My overall rating for MOBOFTHEDEAD is 8 out of 10. Origins. On to one of the most fan favorite maps, just like MOBOFTHEDEAD. My favorite thing about Origins, well, here's my 3 favorite thing about Origins. That being the robots walking around, which is absolutely sick. The Pack-a-Punch is awesome, and camos. And number 3 being the staffs. The staffs were so crazy when this map came out, and everyone absolutely loved it. And still do to this day. That's why this map is still being played 11 years later. Another thing I'd like to add that I really like is that this map is very difficult. And another thing cool about this map is all the dig sites. That's why I'm rating this map so high, because of all the extra stuff you can do, the atmosphere, the gameplay, the mechanics, it's all great. I rate this map 10 out of 10. Buried. Buried is another map that has permaperks. And another thing I'd like to mention about Buried is that it is a pretty easy map. Very long for high rounds. Boring. But it is a fun experience for the average player. Buried has 3 really cool tramps, with that being the Trample Steam, the Subsurface Resonator, and the Headhunter. One thing I also love about Buried is the Paralyzer, which is the wonder weapon, which if you have it, grants you to be able to fly, which is very cool. One thing I do not like about Buried is the witches, but if you have money and you can hit your shots, it's not that big of a deal. I rate Buried a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, that wraps up ranking all of the Black Ops 2 zombie maps. If you made it this far, thank you. This is the first time I've ever done any ranking like this or any type of content like this, zombies wise. I make a lot of zombies content, but this is the first time I've ever done a video just like this. A couple things I want to mention. I know there's probably a lot of things to you guys that I missed, but I wanted to keep this video somewhat short because I did not want to make it super long because I could have talked all day about things about these maps. Another thing I want to mention is a huge shout out to all the creators who let me use footage that made the video and editing process 10 times easier, and thank you guys so much. Now for the viewers, please leave feedback of suggestions, recommendations, anything you have that maybe I could have made this video better, or things that you like or things you might have disagreed with. I'm always open to hear. I read each and every single comment in all my videos, and I love to hear feedback. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you so much for watching.